Not me, not that, but not nothing either, a something that I do not recognize as a thing, a weight of meaninglessness about which there is nothing insignificant, and which crushes me, on the edge of non-existence and hallucination, of reality that, if I acknowledge it, annihilates me. There, abject and abjection are my safeguards.
Humankind lingers unregeneratedly in Plato's cave, still reveling, its age-old habit, in mere images of the truth. But being educated by photographs is not like being educated by older, more artisanal images. For one thing, there are a great many more images around, claiming our attention. The inventory started in 1839, and since then just about everything has been photographed, or so it seems. This very insatiability of the photographing eye changes the terms of confinement in the cave, our world. In teaching us a new visual code, photographs alter and enlarge our notions of what is worth looking at and what we have a right to observe. They are a grammar and, even more importantly, an ethics of seeing. Finally, the most grandiose result of the photographic enterprise is to give us the sense that we can hold the whole world in our heads as an anthology of images. To collect photographs is to collect the world. Movies and television programs light up walls, flicker, and go out. But with still photographs, the image is also an object, lightweight, cheap to produce, easy to carry about, accumulate, store. Susan Sontag, in Plato's Cave, 1977.
Experiments in the Transient is set in the Mahia Peninsula. I have been visiting this area through my husband's scientific work for the past 15 years. This particular work engages a dialogue between my photographs of night skies, put through entropic processes that reference the complex dynamics that exist here, and the digital terrain model created by Mark Dixon and Brendan Hall, that is composed of hundreds of images that have been mosaicked to better understand the evolution of this landscape.
"You're going to Oakley" was a common taunt when we were kids. This was always said in a sing-song kind of voice, but it was an insult, a threat. This was a scary place. Oakley was where the mental people were locked up, the retards. We were afraid of the building over the bridge, the loony bin on the other side of town. Our cousins in Canterbury had a similar insult and used the same sing-song voice, but down there it was called Sunnyside. We didn't know where that place was or what it looked like. It was where they put the mad people, so we felt the fear and the loathing. That it was called Sunnyside, like a tropical resort, just made it more sinister, like a trick or a trap. Years later, I started working as a photographic technician in the building that once housed Oakley when it was an art school. Sometimes, during the nearly 2 decades of being on staff in that building, the different histories of the place merged together, time and space folding into itself. I was barely a teenager, my brother not much older, when he was committed to Oakley. Few of our relatives were told about this, and I certainly said nothing at school. I don't remember much about this time, but I do remember the overflowing ashtrays on the floor, the grey, rectangular, government issue ashtrays the size of a bread box, operated by the foot, and everybody sitting and smoking and staring at the TV. Even the TVs are black and white in my mind, but this might not be true.
We are looking at the subject and the subject is looking back at us. The subject has been through something. The title Living tells us he survived, but might not have. The sea is constant and ever-changing. The clarity of the photograph is blurred by the exhaust stream of the aircraft. Beneath, the sea is dark then light, scattered by waves. This moment between spaces was seen when I didn't know whether the person I was flying to was dead or alive.
I have been playing with anachronistic photographic processes alongside digital exploration. At the same time, I have been considering the nature of how we consume images. The experimentation with materials has allowed me to explore how far the medium can be pushed using processes of the past and applying them in a modern context. These images show how the fluidity of digital imagery has played into my analog photography. They use light to convey our contaminated perceptions and behaviors as influenced by our digital world. The overlay of images were made from a range of different film formats, combined with transparent or overhead projector paper that were projected through outdated photographic paper.
When I first started psychodrama, I was transfixed by the real-life dramas enacted by a group. I saw them as living artworks, and I knew that I wanted to photograph actual psychodrama one day. One moment is particularly vivid in my mind. There is a lover who takes the form of a bird, looking in through the window at his beloved. One auxiliary kneels in the drama, her arms lifted to create a window. The bird lover leans in, closer and closer, with longing. And in that moment, the two people unite to create a striking tableau. It was this dreamlike moment that led to a series of images photographed in the Crystal Palace Theatre in Auckland in 2019.